WWE's Dragon Lee defeated El Grande Americano and El Hijo del Vikingo in a AAA Mega Title #1 contenders match at AAA Alianzas. He will challenge for Dominic Mysterio's gold at October 25th's AAA Heroes Immortals event. So we got to definitely check that out. Again, this wasn't branded as like a crossover or whatever, but we're seeing the WWE bleed over. And so, I mean, they own the company. And so we have Vikingo losing. He was in this 3-way #1 contender match. Vikingo and El Grande will go on and do their thing. They have a big feud now that doesn't need the title. And then Dom and Dragon Lee can get in the mix with each other. And of course, I believe Rey Mysterio will get involved in that as well, because he's crowned Dragon Lee as, you know, he's going to be the future of Lucha Libre. And so, and obviously, I think we're going to see Rey Mysterio hold that AAA Grand Campeon one time. I think we'll see him hold it one time before he fully retires. He'll like get it off his son, then retire it to his son in like a retirement match, title for retire or something. I could totally see that. Does Ray go out on a WrestleMania show? Possibly. Or maybe they do like, you can never wrestle in Mexico again or something. I could just totally see them giving Ray and Dom the glory of a AAA title match, maybe even on Mania. Forget Triple Mania. Maybe it's at WrestleMania, you know, Ray versus Dom, career versus title or something. I could see Ray totally holding that belt one time, though, and he's going to get in the mix, I believe, with the Dragon Lee Dominic Mysterio feud that's upcoming. However, there was a triple threat match. I kind of wish I watched this all live. I'm not going to lie. I was kind of pissed that, you know, this wasn't promoted more on WWE TV, to be honest. And notice they use ropes now all the time. Did AAA do that before? I think they use cables, no? So they're using ropes WWE style all the time. The buckles, the setup, it's all WWE style. However, the ads are very much seemingly just what AAA kind of had going on prior, I'm guessing. I'm not sure. And they're still just booing Vikingo. El Grande Americano is more beloved in Mexico than Vikingo at this point. And I'm sure Dave glazing him that one time didn't help either.
No, no es cierto. No seas mentiroso. Si no vayan a ver World Collide. ¡Qué patada la cabeza! ¡Oh! ¡Pasa la victoria! ¡Una! ¡Dos! ¡Dos! ¡Apareció el hijo del Vikingo! ¡Sobre la escalera metálica impactada!
Like the announce table is WWE.
A ver a Dirty Dominic Mysterio. ¿Qué pitufo Smurf? Ya va listo. ¡Oh! ¡Wow! ¡Estrella! ¡Estrella fugaz hacia afuera! ¡Oye, es el enojo! ¡Ey, ey, ey! ¡El enojo del hijo del Vikingo! ¿Qué pasó aquí en esa mesa? Por favor. Y me parece que tiene dedicatoria para ti, Dominic. Esto podría terminar aquí. ¡Cuidado! Y ahora se abre el espacio.
Oh my God. Dragon Lee's nuts, man. Taking out the commentary team. God damn it. This show looks lit. This show's lit, dude.
Impresionante lo que acabo de ver. ¿Qué peligro? ¡Sí, usted!
So yeah, you just dove on everyone. I mean, and here's the thing too, you run a risk of like El Grande, man. He's got to stay healthy out there. He's doing these lucha spots. You know, you run the risk of these people getting hurt the more they're on these shows, but
¡Ya va Dragon Lee! ¡Listo! ¡Operación Dragón! ¡La cuenta de suavecito en conteo!
And they're pumped that it's Dragon Lee. They wanted El Grande to win, but they're happy it's Dragon Lee and just that it wasn't Vikingo. So, yeah, we're getting Dragon Lee versus Dirty Dom at this other show. I'm definitely going to be watching it. October 25th, AAA Heroes Immortales. I'm going to be definitely watching that. October's just loaded with pro wrestling shows. Speaking of which, NXT Invasion goes down Tuesday, October 7th. I have a great guest coming on a recorded PWT pod that day, and then we will get live on NXT Invasion October 7th. NXT versus TNA, the first official Invasion event, and it's on at the same time. I think Dynamite is moved to that Tuesday, and it's called Title Tuesday. Tony Khan, it's right before his birthday. He's going to have a meltdown, and we're going to watch them both head to head, and it's going to be glorious. So stay locked in here to PWT. Speaking of glorious, or speaking of things you may or may not see, Cam Roston hit the John Cena celly after his UFC Perth win. So UFC was just in Perth. Of course, Crown Jewel going to be in Perth. You guys noticed the pattern here of how TKO does this stuff. I laid this all out way before any of this partnership even happened. I would say look to UFC and how WWE copies them in this regard. UFC copied WWE in this regard. We talk about this for ages and ages, but here we go. He hits this celly in Perth here. Shout out John Cena.
That'll do it. Cam Roston in the debut. What a 6-week stretch from the Contender Series to a contract to a winner in the UFC.
Is smart to do that because now that the companies are connected, there's a photo op possibility there. You know, there's a way for this guy. He went a little bit viral, I guess, after doing that. Not incredibly, but I don't know. John Cena might Instagram post him or something, you know? So it's a W to whip that out if you're in the UFC. Congratulations to the new WWE NXT champion, Ricky Saints. And Oba's got to be called up to the main roster. Like, he could show up here on Raw tonight. If he answered Sami Zayn's open challenge and just squished him for the fucking U.S. title, I'm diggity down with it all. So, and shout out Ricky Saints, man. This is a long time coming. And I think Ethan Page will drop that North American title at some point. Or maybe they just do title for title with these belts. Who fucking knows? But I can totally see Ethan Page getting in the mix of this NXT title as well, and just move Obafemi on. Like, we don't need to see him fighting in rematches and shit. So WWE has filed to trademark the name PJ Vasa, and everybody's like, who's that for? PJ Vasa? Who's that? Well, we found out. It was confirmed that WWE LFG competitor Panina Tuilapa, and she P Nasty is what they call her on WWE LFG. And when she comes out, man, the NXT crowd, like when they would send those LFG kids out in front of the NXT crowds, they would just start throwing ones up for her already. It's pretty funny. And I think she's like Tongan or Samoan, and she has like all the tribal tats and all that. And she's awesome. You know, after the first season, you could argue she could have won that season. I don't know if she won this season or if she just got eliminated or what, but it doesn't really matter. Anybody on that show is in the system. Like, there's this clip that's going viral of like Booker T melting down about Harlem Lewis or whatever. Well, it's like, none of that matters. He's on excursion right now in Japan with Charlie Dempsey. Like, all these people are signed. But either way, PJ Vasa, WWE, happy Monday, nosy motherfuckers. PJ Vasa has entered the chat. Come get your issue. Come get your issue. She's going to be awesome, though. Speaking of Samoans, Chelsea Green defends Nia Jax from online criticism. So this past SmackDown, you know, we covered it. Jade Cargill got covered in blood, but she got busted open hard way. You could like see her skull. It's pretty brutal. You know, Nia Jax was accused of like being unsafe again, and everybody jumped on her. And again, man, I defend Nia Jax. Like, I just think that's not fair to put that on her, especially in her most recent run, right? She's working with really green Jade. It might be a mix of like, okay, Nia's a little stiff, but you're working Jade, man. Like, everybody's trying to help get this chick over as best as they can. And she had a smile on her face. And Jade was, you know, kept selling, earned stripes the hard way, literally, was the joke I made last show. Because, you know, that's a scar she's going to wear forever. And she didn't give up on herself. She finished her spots, finished the match. Fucking. And I gave Jade, and I also said, too, if Jade was like, we got to stop this, and like the refs came in and ended the match, I would not have blamed her one bit. Seeing the aftermath, I would not have blamed her one bit. But she didn't do that. She went old school, dude. and she fucking toughed it through, sold, kept her facials going the whole time, fucking everything she needed to be and where she needed to be. Some people were saying she was the best part of the match. Like she was the one, like the one who shone the most in the match. So Sean, I don't know. But yeah, so Nia, Chelsea Green defends Nia and says the internet not knowing that Nia is one of the best is the biggest travesty. We're lucky to have her as a locker room leader. So furthermore, she's like a locker room leader in the eyes of people like Chelsea Green, who you'd have to assume is looked at as like a veteran in the locker room herself, right? And yeah, shout out Nia Jax. I'm a big fan. So Natalya unloads on Becky Lynch with blunt truth about their history. Uh-oh, girl drama. Let's see what happens here. Becky's got some haters, man.
Let's just be fair. We got a couple haters.
So Natalya said she was on Ring the Bell, and she says, first of all, can I just say what a fucking bitch Becky is? Becky is such a fucking bitch. She's such a little fucking bitch. We've been on a journey together for over 20 years. There's nobody in our division that knows me the way Becky knows me. She was on my first tour of Japan. She was on the tour where I blew out my ACL. I wrestled 12 matches with a torn ACL, and Becky was on that tour. So while I respect the hell out of Becky, I also think that she is an egotistical, spoiled, rotten little fucking bitch. Okay, so she's obviously just like working the shoot here, brother. But Natty also talked about Vince McMahon, and she said that I just feel like women have come such a long way, and Vince McMahon gave me so many opportunities. The Saudi Arabia match, I said to Vince McMahon when WWE first started doing stuff in Saudi, I said, Vince, I really want to go. I want to be the first woman to wrestle in Saudi Arabia. Vince made it happen. I think Vince really wanted women to wrestle there too. Yeah, more plane, more airtime, pal. More time in the private plane for me and away from my wife. And he really wanted us to have more visibility there to be able to do what we loved. So I will always be so grateful to Vince for that moment because he fought for the women to have more visibility in Saudi Arabia. He had to fight. So look at us now. And there you go, man. Might be some, hey, for the shit Vince did. Hey, he broke down a lot of fucking barriers, man. Speaking of Vince McMahon, though, there's a lawsuit with WWE shareholders, and John Laurinaitis now is involved in some sort of lawsuit and whatnot. So Vince McMahon and WWE execs face new subpoenas in Delaware shareholder lawsuit. So basically, according to recent filings, John Laurinaitis, who was once a top WWE executive but is not a defendant in the case, was scheduled to be deposed on September 26 via Zoom from his attorney's office in Florida. McMahon's longtime personal assistants, brother Paul Michael Mickey Mangieri, have also been subpoenaed to produce documents related to the case. The scope of the lawsuit has expanded beyond WWE leadership. Liberty Media owners of Formula One and private equity powerhouse KKR are set to be questioned under oath. Damn, so this is like a TKO thing here. With Liberty Media's designated representative scheduled for depositions on the 30th and KKR partner Ted Oberwager on October 30th. While not confirmed, both companies are believed to have been possible suitors for WWE before its eventual merger with Endeavor's UFC. Oh, okay. So not TKO. The case alleges that McMahon had predetermined the outcome of the merger, steering the process toward Endeavor because it was the only deal that would guarantee him a continued role within the company. Plaintiffs argue that other potential buyers would not have allowed McMahon to remain after the fallout of his 2022 sexual misconduct scandal. Current WWE executives Nick Khan and Triple H, along with former board members George Barrios and Michelle Wilson, were also named as defendants for allegedly failing to act in shareholders' best interests. Several figures have already sat for depositions, including TKO. Oh, it is TKO. CFO Andrew Schleimer. Can you get a slimier name than Schleimer? And independent WWE board members at the time of the merger. Steve Koonin, Steve Paman, Manjeet Singh, and Jeffrey Speed. Most depositions are blah, 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 blah. The lawsuit has received less attention than McMahon's other legal battles. And yeah, there's a shareholder lawsuit. So basically, what's going to happen is they're going to pay people, or it's just going to get drawn out to the point no one fucking cares anymore. Because that's what happens when you have incredibly rich people, like you're going after the biggest fucking company. one of the biggest conglomerates in the world, you know? It's just going to get drawn out or paid out, and then we just won't hear about it really. So, like we haven't been. But speaking of which, Brandon Thurston said Electronic Arts in other news. So this is EA. If you guys don't know, EA Games. What is it again? EA Sport. It's in the game. And then there's like EA Games. Challenge everything. You guys know EA? They make video games, okay? They fucked up the UFC series and everything. So, you know, they got bought out for the first time. It's making history. Is like, this is the first time a private group just rolled up and like bought one of the biggest gaming developers, you know, in the world, right? Like typically what'll happen is like Microsoft, they own Xbox, and then they're like, fuck it, we'll buy 2K or whatever. I don't know if that's the case, but you know, they'll just be like, we'll buy THQ, and then they'll just start, then they own their library, right? We'll buy fucking Naughty Dog, and now Xbox owns Crash Bandicoot or whatever, even though that was more of like a PlayStation thing, right? However, that's usually how it goes. What happened was the Saudi Public Investment Fund, they bought this, and they are Jared Kushner's affinity partners, and the private equity there, that's the private equity firm behind Endeavor, which controls TKO, Silver Lake. So we know the next 2K game is officially on the fucking docket, but dude, this could result in WWE going to EA Sports. EA said they would never work with UFC, right? And then Dana White's like, we'll never work with EA Sports after they pitched MMA. Like EA was like, this isn't a real sport. And then those undisputed games that THQ did blew up huge. And then Dana White just backtracked on everything he said, went with EA Sports right away. Now, I bring this to the table. I'm telling you guys this to let you know something here. Dana White cares about things like EA Sports. It legitimizes you as a real sport. WWE, when they stopped working with Ukes and all that and THQ and everything, THQ went under. I believe they went to EA as well. And EA was like, this is not a real sport. They went with 2K, and even 2K was hesitant. 2K was like, this isn't a real sport, da-da-da. But the sales were there. And 2K needed some help. Like EA dominated them in hockey, and like and they had their boxing games and yeah, they had multiple titles. I guess it was kind of, they reworked the same game. They had like UFC Fight Night Champions. They had like Fight Night 4, and then they had like Fight Night Champions or whatever. It was just sort of like the same game, but with like a story mode attached to it. I digress. Their boxing games were crushing it. EA was really whooping 2K's ass for a while there until they figured it out with NBA. I think 2K always kind of dominated NBA a little bit, but there was a while there where EA NBA was cool though too. I digress further. Listen. Basically, we could see WWE on EA Sports, which would fucking suck, man. EA sucks. They fucked everything up, and now this Saudi group owns them. I just don't know if this is good for the video gaming world or EA. Not to say like the Saudi group won't just likely keep people in place, but what do? Like EA Sports fucked up what THQ did with pro wrestling games. MMA games. I don't want EA to fuck up what 2K's been doing with pro wrestling games. They're really in a stride of where it's very much realistic, but they're finding arcadey elements and adding it back to the 2K series, and I just hope they don't fuck that up with EA. That's all I'm saying. But maybe it's a good thing. But EA's all about like the shitty microtransactions and shit, and people say, oh, come on now, Phil, that's all 2K does. But not really. Not really. They figured out like DLC packs. They figured out the right way to do this. And as a video game mark, I don't want to see WWE games go with EA. I just really don't. They fucked up Star Wars Battlefront for a long time. They fucked up UFC in a lot of ways, man. I think UFC's terrible. Their roster updates are fucking terrible. The way they handle their IP is terrible. They own all this shit like Strikeforce, Pride, WEC. They don't use any of it in their story mode or in their fucking Like nothing. It's just like, oh, microtransactions so you can buy these old Strike Force or Pride gloves. They don't use any of the nostalgia or any of their old library or anything like that, which is what 2K does really well, I think, with the showcase modes as well as like the just the legends, like the names they're able to pull from and the DLC and stuff like that. They do such a good job. I don't want to see that get fucked up with EA getting in the mix, and it's more likely than ever. Moving along here as I nerd rant about video games. So, WWE NXT referee Vicky D'Erico won first place in her fit model debut at the Dayton Pro Am Championships. This fake tan shit is so ugly, right? But she just does it for the competition. Like I have friends who've done bodybuilding competitions and stuff, and that's what you do. You just do it last minute. Like you don't really walk around looking like that. But good for her, man. She's undefeated in the bodybuilding world. Pal, I'm bringing back the WBF. So Ridge Holland confirms he will be undergoing surgery for a Liz Frank injury he suffered at a recent TNA taping. Surgery Friday, see you in a bit. So in Edmonton there, after the pay-per-view where he battled it out with Mike Santana and took the L, he got injured and will need a surgery rather. So hopefully he gets a speedy recovery. And yeah, I mean it's unfortunate that happened to him. He seems very like stop, start, you know. But they have faith in him, I guess, and he's a good guy who can transition between TNA and NXT and kind of get younger guys over. Monday Night Raw that we're watching right now is at the Lenovo Center in Raleigh, North Carolina. And there has been about 11,000 tickets distributed when this was last recorded. The setup was for like 11,000. I'm sure it's a sellout. And another banger for WWE there. I don't know how many that building seats, but on a podcast, so Big E used an art gallery, a rooftop. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but he had a 9-course meal and a personal chef give them a 9-course meal. So he went to an art gallery, and this is with Chris Yim, his wife, and Mia Yim's sister. He took her to a rooftop and had a personal chef. And I'm not hating on this at all, but it's just such rich people shit. He had a 9-course meal where each dish like described different moments of their relationship and their love. And I'm just sitting there like, hey, I'd throw a burger down a throat and leave cab fare on the counter. Oh, but yeah, shout them out. Very romantical and all that. And it's a cute story. So speaking of cute story, no. Edris Enofe announced he will be leaving WWE. Idris Enofe, if you're unfamiliar, he's on the NXT brand. Okay. And I can't remember all of the things he's done exactly. I don't even think he has a Wikipedia page, right? So him and Malik Blade were in a tag, and were they in an Evolve and shit? I'm just trying to think. Either way, Edris Enofe, he had this to say about departing WWE.
As of today, I will officially be leaving the WWE. This is a decision that I thought about for a very long time, and I'm going to trust my gut on this. With that being said, for the past 4 years, I had the chance and the opportunity to meet and work with incredible people, from the wrestlers to the referees, to the creative team, to the medical staff, and of course, to all the coaches who put in so much time and effort into making me better. And for that, I will always, always appreciate y'all. And of course, to all the fans who have supported me and stuck by my side through all these years, thank you.
Yeah, so not burning a fucking bridge, being very professional, can go get a job somewhere, gets a little hype on his name, and then he can come back one day. Speaking of coming back, Bad Bunny, I was hoping he would come back sooner or later to WWE. Unfortunately, he tweaked his knee pretty fucking badly on tour there. He's since recovered from that. and it's been announced that Bad Bunny has been announced as the Super Bowl LX halftime show performer for 2026. I put a poll in the chat. Are you guys excited for that? I don't know. There's a lot of people mad. There's a lot of people upset by this. Bad Bunny's a global superstar, and I would just say that, NFL's been trying to do more global stuff, if you guys haven't been paying attention. Yes, the cons save money, likely, by fucking running shows, and they can save their business from going under because people will actually attend their NFL games in London or whatever, and they won't in Florida. And so they'll do games internationally and stuff like that. But that's sort of NFL. We all know that. That's their newest initiative, is like, we need to appeal to, like, we have all the fans. We're as popular as we're going to be in America. We're not losing like a huge chunk of fans unless we start doing like uber woke political cringe shit, as the people would say online. Then I guess maybe you turn some folks off, but it seems like their numbers are doing well. NFL's still thriving. And we've known over the last, like, how many years, 5 to 10 years, maybe, the NFL's like, we're going global and shit. We're trying to spread this. We want football to be as like all over the place as possible. And we want those soccer fans in Europe and shit to convert to American football and stuff like that. And so I think Bad Bunny's the right choice. Now, some people are pointing out, they're like, since Jay-Z took over like booking the music for the NFL, the halftime shows, it's been like all rappers mostly and shit. I mean, I don't know. I didn't notice that personally, but maybe that's a good point. Like, maybe some people are like, no, dude, we want a cool rock band. Who hasn't done it that should do it is my only thing. Like, because here's my criticism is this. I'm not even the rappers, Brian Cuervo, right? It's like, I don't have a boomer take like that. My take is this. Are there bands that Bad Bunny's going to be around for 20 years? Even if he retires tomorrow from music, he could always like come out of retirement, do an epic Super Bowl halftime show. He's going to be around for a while. Are there some people who haven't done it? Rappers, rock bands, country sing, I don't fucking know. Are there people who haven't done it that we're like, oh no, they need to do it. They should do it. They have to before the time's up. They won't get a chance. Like, they're old now. They're not fucking, like, has Kiss done it? I can't remember. I can't think of all of them off the top of my head, right? But that's my criticism. Like, okay, Weeknd. I love Weeknd. No one likes fucking Weeknd's music more than me, okay? He didn't need to even do it then, although he is like super famous at the time, so I get it. You want to bring eyeballs to the show at the time. Bad Bunny's fucking huge. Here's my whole thing. Like, Kendrick Lamar did it. He was huge, dude. He like dissed Drake at the Super Bowl. Every fucking went super viral. Like, Drake's like one of the biggest rappers, so like it makes sense. Kendrick Lamar, rather, is one of the biggest rappers. It makes sense. I don't know, man. It just seems like Bad Bunny could wait even a few years and like another. So I could see that argument. Like, hey, before we lose whatever, I can't even think of one off the top of my head. That's what I mean. Even like Michael Jackson did one and shit, So let's get the legends on the board is all I'm saying. I'm all for that. But otherwise, like, I don't know, dude. I think how many Bad Bunny songs, though, are like really popular in America and shit? I'm not sure. So maybe that could be, I don't know. I just know Booker T and like Chambea. I just know those ones that kind of went viral and shit. They're more wrestling based. So I think that's why I'm more privy to them. I'm not like bumping his music all the time and shit. I like a few songs, but it's not like you hear him on the radio all the time in Canada either. So again, maybe that's an argument there, but it just seemed to trigger, like, people are divided, but people are divided on everything in 2025. So people are probably mad at me for my very in the middle, trying to give everyone their fucking due take on Bad Bunny. But to me, I'm going to enjoy the shit out of it because I think there's a good chance he'll do Chambea and Booker T. And if I can hear that, it's like, sweet, man. When I hear he's doing all this stuff, I'm happy for him, but I want to selfishly, I'm like, God damn, I want to see him back in WWE. When I started my rant there. And ladies and gentlemen, that was WWE.